Okay. You know, I should have been paying attention to production more and seeing the Marine pop out. It's like, oh, wow, okay, this is cool. ByuN's going Marine Marauder. This is not Proxy Reaper, a home and away, which you could be forgiven for believing that's what it was. No. In the bottom left in the blue here, he's for the Rebellion. You know him. It's ByuN. And the upper right in the red, coming back to the scene by storm, the King of Micro. It's Parting. And I know I said this the last time we got these two, but it is so cool that we get Parting and ByuN here. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate that it's the round of 16, which is, well, you're not playing for money at this point. You're not playing for EPT points at this point. You're playing to be able to qualify into the round that has you playing for money and has you playing for EPT points. So Parting and ByuN, well, we're not gonna, again, this is still fairly early on. And by the way, as we take a look at this, and I realize that we need to turn some things on here just briefly because I'm bad at what I do. It just always happens. There we go. Got to be able to see things again. By the way, as we look at this, this is Parting opening gate first. This is an opening gate nexus. This is not gate cyber nexus, nothing like that. He's going to go kind of as greedy as possible leaning into this. There's the cyber core going down. Well, I guess you could go nexus first, pylon nexus, but that seems wildly too greedy. It looks like with this SCV, ByuN's got something planned. I don't know what it is just yet. My gut would be a proxy starport, Hellion drop into the main would be the assumption. Now we don't know, and we're gonna have to wait to see what exactly ByuN's gonna go for, but that is what is looking like more than likely at this point is, well, Marine's just looking around to make sure that there's no proxy coming out of Parting, because while ByuN is the one that's going proxy in this game, while ByuN is the one that is really interested in, well, being a little annoying, being a little obnoxious, he is well aware that Parting can absolutely do the same. So he checks around and, well, he's not going to find much of anything as there the starport's going to go down. So again, we should expect to see Hellions getting reactored out of here 2x2. But that's one of the reasons why I actually really like this Zealot edition in this game. It's going to say, hey, Parting, there's no natural. It doesn't exist. Zealot's going to show up into the main base where, what's he going to see? Well, there could be a main base off in the bottom right here. There could be a main base up north, but seeing these Hellions coming out two at a time, at the very least, it tells him that, yeah, something's a little bit off. And actually, did he see that command center? He did. Okay. Parting should be well aware of what's happening right now. He sees how late the command center is. He's aware of the fact that Hellions were coming out 2x2, and that tells him, yeah, this is something weird. He doesn't know it's a proxy just yet, but he does know that there is something happening right now that he is not fully aware of, that he's not fully prepared for. So we're going to see him go. He's going to wall off the front. He's going to put double gateway at the front here, which means that ByuN can't do something obnoxious like run all the Hellions in the natural while faking a medevac into the main base, which is something that ByuN has been known to do. But that's not really a thing. Not in this game is now. Hey, medevacs into the main base. Parting, you're ready for the run by the natural. Your units are all split up, but in the main base, you don't see it. Not until right now. So Hellions are going to dive in. Parting on the very quick pull, but he's got to get these pros split just a little bit more. 2 workers are going to go down. H-tier number 5 dead right now. And ByuN's looking for the lineup. 7 fall, and it's just destined to get more. 11 go down. Parting thought he knew what was happening, but not enough. He wasn't quite ready. And of course, this is a lot harder to deal with if it's a Stargate, or if this is a blink opener compared to any sort of Stargate play, because you don't have that nice, easy shutdown. And realistically, what you're looking to do? Well, you're looking to have the Stalkers pretty much under the medevac as things happen. That's kind of the only way to stop this easily, as Hellions dive in just a little bit more. And 3 more. It's 15 dead probes. 16 dead probes here. He looks for another shot. Looks for the lineup. Oh my. This is just so bad for Parting at this point. And as much as we would like to talk about the micro and Parting's ability to be a killer, he's down 9 workers. But more importantly, he's lost 18. He's lost 18 workers in this game. And yeah, he's got Stalkers that want to run across the map. He's got a Warp Prism on the way. This is no longer the game of Parting saying, yeah, you know what? I'm fine. I can go do something, and I want to put some pressure on. That feels really nice. Now, this is now the game of Parting saying, well, if I don't win the game right now, I'm dead. I am so dead. And ByuN continues to look for tiny bits of damage here with his low medevac, with his wounded Hellion. Of course, it takes 3 shots, so he's not going to get through a shield battery all that quickly, but eventually. But nah, Stalkers are going to knock this down. At the very least, though, distracts Parting. Once again, is Parting, he's going to look for what he can find on the right side, but the starport's already back home. So that's not really that big of an opportunity for... He gets a supply depot, and he does supply block ByuN, sure. Stim's halfway done. There are 2 tanks here. ByuN drops the scan as well. It's going to get the Observer, and I still believe that Observers are just a little bit too fast. The fact that they run away from Terrans sometimes and don't just die is really, truly, it's an affront to StarCraft. And it shouldn't happen. No, I thought Parting might try to make something happen with this. He got the medevac, or he got the Warp Prism. He was moving on the map with Stalkers, but I think he's kind of realized that that's not really viable. The Terran base is just too set up too defensively with tanks and bunkers and everything else. But just because that's the case doesn't mean that Parting doesn't have some imperative to get something done. This Warp Prism taking damage. So much damage. Oh, man. And yeah, Parting's just dead. Game 1 goes the way of ByuN. Not much to do there. Now, as we look at this game number 2, we got to figure out what's going to happen, because ByuN is, of course, a fantastic player. ByuN, though, he just kind of pulled the wool over Parting's eyes in that game number 1. He just got a little bit more than he really should have. And that was off of a game, of course, where Parting was able to go and understand roughly what was happening. He saw that, yeah, there's a natural that's very delayed. He knew that, well, he didn't actually know there was no starport, which would have been the really big tell. But even still, he had the gateways at the natural. He was able to go and take a look at it from that perspective. And you're like, okay, fine. This is exactly what you want to be doing. But of course, as we get into this game number 2, if you like this, if you want more StarCraft action, if you want to see ByuN proxy once again, this time just a little bit differently, you should go hit the sub button. You should like this video. You should let me know how you feel about Hellion drops, because that was really good. ByuN did get a ton of damage in that first game, but just because he got a lot of damage done doesn't mean that the build is by itself all that good. It just means that ByuN got a lot of damage done. And of course, I stream most days on Twitch as well, especially with Stormgate stuff coming up, so you should go on and follow the Twitch channel as well. But I want to see what ByuN's gonna get done in this game too. Game 1, Hellion drops got everything he needed. They were just 18 dead drones, 18 dead probes. What are you gonna do? Okay, I should have been paying attention to production more and seeing the Marine pop out. It's like, oh wow, okay, this is cool. ByuN's going Marine Marauder. This is not Proxy Reaper or Home and Away, which you could be forgiven for believing that's what it was. No. ByuN just is cheesing the bejesus alpha Parting this game. Like, he has... I think this also might be a bit of a macro read, because Parting went gate next to Cyber once again. And Parting, by the way, he checked here. He didn't quite check close enough. He has no idea what's happening. And as the Zealot runs across, yeah, sure, it's going to run into a couple Marines, and that's going to tell him that, oh, something's real wrong. Something feels really uncomfortable right now, but the Zealot's going to fall anyways. Well, at least take a lot of damage. So at the very least, Parting is somewhat aware of what's happening here, but I can't help but feel that this is just a macro win, or not a macro win, kind of a meta win for ByuN in this game, because, well, Parting is opening this greedy style, going gate nexus into Cyber. He's sending his first 2 units on the other side of the map, and then it's like, okay, what you gonna do there, Parting? You gotta recall. Your units are already not there. There's no shield battery. It's on the way right now, but the pylon's gonna go down very quickly as the Marines run across. Well, it's gonna be even more of a problem. But for now, though, at the very least, the SCV is dead, so the bunker won't go up, but there's no good way to deal with this concussive shell Marauder. There's no good way to deal with anything at all. Adepts are being made. They don't fight Marauders. And in fact, this natural, it might just be absolutely gone. I love the idea of the Oracle, though, because the Marines are going to die pretty quickly. And then there's still a lot of damage going down on the Marauders and everything else. Although I guess maybe a Void Rate's going to be a bit better. I don't know. Marines just kite away. ByuN is doing so much with this. And it's all dead. It's all dead. The Oracle's going to pop out. Notice Parting was trying to kill off as many Marines as possible, so these Marauders would eventually get targeted down. But they're going to get damage done before they die. And this damage, even with these Marauders eventually falling to the Oracle, which, by the way, running out of energy, so the Marauder will continue to be able to kite, getting another probe for his troubles. This is 9 dead probes. And by the way, Marines and Marauders are going to show up on the other side. That Oracle ran out of energy, and yeah, there are 2 now. And a 3rd one on the way, which is going to have to be the answer. Yeah, a 3rd one. 1-shots SCVs. That is pretty much going to have to be the only answers. The Oracles in the middle of the map are going to get shut down by the Marine. I think, yeah, that's a worthwhile trade in the extreme. Yeah, you lost a couple of Marines. You killed one of the Oracles. Parting was banking on having 3 because 3 1-shot Marines. 3 1-shots SCVs. 3 buys you room in this game. There is not a lot of room right now, as now again double Oracle are here. So ByuN, you got to figure he wants to stop rallying at this point. It's not really going to be all that impactful anymore. Yeah, you should probably stop. You've gotten enough, ByuN. You're okay with what's happening now. And you want to make sure you got enough anti-air. He's looking at 7 Marines on the map for 2 Oracles. That's actually not quite enough. And the Cyclones aren't out yet, so it's not going to be enough to balance. You know, it's not going to be enough to balance this out. Not by itself, unless something absolutely miraculous happens. But at least it's going to get somewhere into things, as Parting doesn't even try. He just doesn't think he has enough energy, I guess. There's too much there. He doesn't even try. And he's just going to opt into this game where he is pretty far behind. I know the supplies say, well, you know, ByuN is... Parting's up in army supply, and he's up in workers too. Okay, fine. That really doesn't tell the tale of the tape here. Although, actually, as I think about it, well, it definitely doesn't now as the 2nd Oracle falls. ByuN should be in a better position. Yeah, he's down a couple workers, but he's really only down 4 workers 6 minutes in. He's got mules on the way, two at a time, so that's going to make up for a lot of it. +1 getting started here. We are missing Stim. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, we're not. We have Stim. Yeah, okay. Gonna say, you know, there's something missing with this. It feels like ByuN should have 1 more upgrade than he does, but yeah, he's got Stim done, concussive shells done, +1 on the way, combat shields on the way. Parting really wants to hit with this, but Blink is not going to be done yet. So we're just gonna have to see how much Parting can do with these Stalkers that don't have Blink. That's the important thing. They don't have Blink. Eventually they will, and Oracle Blink is pretty nice. You can get in the main base, you can do annoying things. But Parting, again, he's gonna have to pull off a bit of a miracle here. Now, last time they played, he did. He took a lot of damage from ByuN in one of the games. He ran across the map. His Blink Stalkers got like 20 SCVs, and he fought his way right back into the game. But they call it a miracle for a reason. That's not something that is all too common. That's not something that you really see all that often. Let's see what exactly is Parting the man of miracles. Can he do what he wants to do for now? He's just trying to cluster on the stasis trap, hide it from ByuN as long as possible, hoping maybe ByuN stims out and gets caught in the trap, and Parting can heal the rest of the army, and well, then life goes a little bit differently. Then life goes much more in the favor of Parting. He does take his 3rd base behind this charge on the way, on this understanding, yeah, that there's not a world where he goes into quick Colossus. He won't have the stuff for it. He just won't have the time. So ByuN, single drop moving out of the map. Combat shields are done. +1's just about done. All the rest of the upgrades you could possibly want, they're all there. So Parting moves forward just a little bit, drops a revelation on the army. Once again, he wants to know where this army is, but again, he's pretty hampered by the fact that he built 3 Oracles and he only has 1 of them. So ByuN's drop on the map is Parting warps in a bunch of Zealots, but these are slow Zealots. They're not particularly useful right now. They're not incredibly useful. And ByuN runs out of the map a little bit. That stasis trap is... Oh, wait, this is a problem. Parting, you're going to jump on top of it. You think about it. No, just into the main base. Trying to get a little bit more damage done because Parting, he needs to get damage done here. The drop in the main base is causing problems. The tank's getting picked up, running away. Parting just losing everything and getting nothing here. It's going to be a mass recall, but 18 dead probes and Stalkers as they warp in. They're going to get targeted down eventually. ByuN's going to lose this drop, but it's totally fine because not only did that Marauder Marine pressure from the early game get damage done, he just got 19 probes. He just got a couple Stalkers. Parting got nothing done. He didn't even get a tank. He got like the 1 medevac. Those 8 Marines, his 10 army supply. Fine, who cares? because while the supplies are fairly equal, the tech here is much better for ByuN, at least for the time being. Charges are going to try to find their way in now. Force fields are pretty solid, and there is no splash damage here, but as we can see, there's just not enough damage for parting at the moment. Now the tanks are going to siege up. The Colossus, it's not there yet, and the Zealots, now the force fields, they're working against them. They're providing this fire line, this wall that the Bio can just sit behind and kill all the Zealots. So yeah, you know, the supplies say, it's fine. It really isn't fine here. The tech is just so much better for ByuN. He's not losing the really important components of this army. And eventually he's going to have +1 attack or +1 armor. Eventually he's going to have more as the Stalk's trying to blink forward, getting on top of the medevac, trying to kill these tanks, but they're not going to find him. This is a little bit better for parting, though, as ByuN kites around, gets a Stalker or two, but the tanks will fall, and that's really important when we talk about this fight. That's incredibly important because the tanks are what really put pressure on the Colossus, especially once you get to three tanks. That one-shots a Colossus. That's where life gets really, really hard. But because ByuN lost those 2 tanks before the 3rd one arrived, parting does fight his way back. Just a little bit. It's still not great for him, but we do have to worry about this timing right now. There are 2 tanks on the map, absolutely, but parting, he's got no upgrades. His Forge is only on the way right now. But he is on 2 Colossus. And he can build a lot of Zealots, although this is one of those situations where you would really like to have a Warp Prism too. We've definitely seen Protoss players, parting in particular, go run across the map in a situation like this where you're not in the best spot. Sure, you're behind, but you've got 2 or 3 Colossus, you got a lot of charge slots, you know you killed a lot of the Terran tech, and you run across the map and you crack the 3rd base and the game goes very differently, but you need a Warp Prism to do so. Continuous reinforcements from your own base, they just, quite simply, they will not cut it. So parting gets a Marine, but he does have to be pretty careful here. He's sitting here fighting down 2 upgrades, and his Colossus are just a little bit exposed. ByuN tries to get on top and gets the 1. Okay, that's a problem. Tries to get on top of the 2nd one, but it's down a ramp, so that's not really going to do much. Parting with the safety force field to get out, but parting loitering a little bit too long, not paying attention. Losing a Colossus like that does not feel good. And now there are a couple Vikings on the map. It's not enough to, say, kill a Colossus in one shot, but it's enough to put pressure on the Colossus as they exist, making life just that much harder for ByuN, or for parting as this moves forward. And this 4th base really doesn't have much of a snowflake's chance in hell of staying alive. Parting's going to try to respond to it, but ByuN's up about 40 army supply, and that will be the cancel. The question now is whether you can hold on to the high ground. Disruptors are going to try to find something, and it really doesn't get a lot here. ByuN on the concave. Force fields on the right side are really, really good. They're buying time, but this Colossus just has nowhere to run, and it's all down to the single disruptor at this point. Who cares? It's not going to disrupt anything. 3rd base now under threat, and now ByuN looking to take advantage of the advantages that he's built for himself this entire game. Party's done a damn good job of fighting back into it, but at this point, it simply does not matter. ByuN takes the 2-0.